Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. So excited to have you guys here, and we have an amazing class planned for you guys. My dear friend and partner in crime, Ramsey Faraj, is on the call with us today to share with us. Well, I don't want to spoil it. So, Ramsey, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you, and I love your passion for this that you're going to cover. And I don't want to say anything or anything. I'll let you do it. But we got a big group here, so I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, dude. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you go, and then of course I'll collaborate with you. But I appreciate being here, man. I appreciate taking time on your day. I know you're busy, and I think that the people that show up today are going to get a huge lesson from what you have to give, because I know you're so passionate about this. So what do you got for us, man?
My pleasure, man. I'm fired up and excited. Great to be here. So really, it's all, the whole class is based on a book by Michael Maher called The 7 Levels of Communication. It's actually a book you were kind enough to give me several years ago, and I read it.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of the book is about giving, and you receive when you give. And this is a perfect example, since Scotty gave me the book, and now he has someone to teach his class. So there you go.
There you go. And delegation, baby, delegation. See how it works?
Right.
That's right.
If he didn't give me the book, he'd be doing this class right now himself. So there you go.
That's right. I love it.
All right.
I love it.
So I want to share the premises of the book and how I'm using it in my business, and how you can, more importantly, use it in your business to take it to the next level. So the basic premise of the book is that there's a real estate agent who's down on his luck. In fact, he's considering leaving the business. I mean, things are not going well. And a loan officer invites him to lunch and then to a follow-up meeting. And that meeting actually transforms his life and his business. He actually also falls in love throughout the process. So there's even a love story in the book, not everything. So there you go. And then what happens is, in the meeting, he gets basically introduced to this concept, okay? And to how to really take his business from relationships to referrals, how to have a referral-based business, which I think is what we all want, is a referral-based business.
Disconnected.
Really. Everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't have my Bluetooth off, and all my Bluetooth stuff was going off, so I apologize. Yeah, I heard you.
It's okay. You can just send me a gift to make up for it. So,
okay.
I'm not kidding, by the way. So let's dive in. Let's really learn about how these concepts can help us in our business. So without any further ado, let's rock this and go. So I really like to start every presentation I do on a real positive, uplifting kind of moment. So that's why I thought we'd start by thinking about our own death. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So, now I'm going to live to about 120, so it's a long time for me.
There you
You're
go.
older than me, so you got to start thinking about this stuff, man. It's coming.
Absolutely. I already have. Yeah.
Right. So why are we thinking about our death? Well, the bottom line is, if there were only 12 words on your tombstone, what would you want them to be? Who would you want at your funeral, and what would you want them to say about you? I mean, we want to think about that, because the reality is what you want said at your funeral has everything to do with how you do business today and how you live your life today, right? Because it's really a reflection of your life and the kind of legacy you leave. Think about what you want your children, if you have children, to say about you at your funeral. And here's the thing, if you want it to be really great stuff about how you've made this great impact and done all these great things, well, I hate to break it to you, but that's not going to happen by chance or accidentally. It's not going to happen if you don't take action. If your life isn't where you want it to be right now, if you keep doing what you're doing, then it's not going to be any different when you're gone, right? You need to start thinking about your legacy today and start taking action to change that legacy and to make it what you want it to be. But step one is think about what you want. And I can't tell you what you want. I only know what I want, right? So you have to answer that question for yourself. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Awesome. All right. So you really need to dig deep and know what your why is, right? And it has to be more than money, because you're not going to do what it takes and the work it takes if it's only about money. We all think it's about money, but it really is about a deeper thing that we're really working for and what we really want in our life. And it's more than money. And you have to figure out what that is for yourself. All right, but you want to do that. And this is the slide that Scotty shared with me. I'm going to share real quick. It's all about, again, making those changes. You have to ask yourself, I mean, we all want to be happy, right? I mean, I'm assuming
absolutely.
we all want to be happy. and if you're not happy, right, then you're going to want to change something. If you don't change anything, guess what's going to happen? You're still not going to be happy. If you keep doing what you're doing and you're not happy, you're going to stay unhappy. You have to change. Now, the only exception being, of course, is if you're Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live, right? Because she does not want to be happy. And what you say, it's Christmas, we're so excited. Yeah, who's excited? The Christmas company. That's who's excited, right?
That's right.
That's right. Now, by the way, if you have a Debbie Downer in your life, run as far as you can from that person. You cannot succeed if you have people constantly negative and bringing you down. All right, as a side note. So if there's a Debbie Downer in your life, change the channel, man, and be around people who are positive. And if you're not happy, you need to change, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is what changes we can make in our business to get different results than we're getting now. Cool?
Very cool.
All right.
That's very cool.
All right. So the book really talks about where should we spend our time and our money. Really, those are two of the most valuable things we have is our time and our money, right? And where we spend them says a lot about our business and where it's going. So here's the thing. At least according to him, and I agree, we should not spend it on cold calling. Now, or door knocking for that matter. Now, I love cold calling. I'm a Scotty. It's my favorite thing to do. I mean, it's so fun to call strangers and interrupt their day, and there's so much nice things to say to you when you call. It's so wonderful. I just feel great about it, And door knocking, I mean, have we heard stranger danger? I mean, I don't want to knock anyone's door. I'm sorry, but who knows who's out there nowadays, right? And then
Crazy.
Advertising, that's fun. That's free. You heard about that, right? The free advertising. I mean,
Yep.
Advertising costs a lot of money, and all of those things you're doing, which all suck, for lack of a better word, cold calling, door knocking, spending your money in advertising. It's all trying to attract people and close them and make a sale with somebody that you've never met and that they don't know you at all. And that's why it's so difficult, right? So
yes,
we can spend our time and energy on that, or we can spend our time, energy, effort, and money on people we actually know, like, and trust and build relationships. And obviously that's what Maher believes is a better way to go. That's what I think is a better way to go. Instead of spending all of our money on leads and advertising and the next greatest thing that's going to bring in strangers to do business with us, when we're sitting in front of a huge database and sphere of people we already know. And that's where the real money is, that we need to start to dig and get that money and really build a business that way. So, and if you think about it even, think about who you sold in the last 6 months, right? A lot of realtors on the call, some loan officers. Were most of those people that were referred to you or people you already knew? Or were there people you never knew, they weren't referred, and you got them out of some lead or some advertising training? Now, a few of you might be really good at that other stuff with leads and advertising, but I think the majority of people on the call, it's mostly referrals and people know.
And that's a great question, Ramsey. Like, so for everybody on the call, where did your last 4 deals come from? If you guys can just put in like past clients, current clients, like in process, or strangers. I'd be curious to know with everybody on the call where the last 4 deals came from for most people on the call. I'd be curious to know. We'll just kind of see what that number is. If you guys could just post it in the comment section on the right hand side under questions, just put in there what the last 4 was. So referrals. Okay. So, the funny part you say, what's funny about this, Ramsey, is I don't know why, but our DNA in sales is we like the thrill of the chase more so than we like, and I don't know why, but people have a hard time calling their past database. And maybe you're going to cover on that, but we like the thrill of the chase more so than we like connecting, engaging, interacting with the people that know, like, and trust us already that would refer us people if we asked, right?
Right.
Crazy.
It's crazy because it's so much harder,
I know.
I've made probably 80% of my income over the years through my database. I mean, it's really, so I didn't like it at first, but I like it now because I'll tell you what, that's a lot of money I'm making because I know how to work my database and I'm implementing these kind of practices. So, you'll start to like it when you start the results.
So really quick, Ramsey, it looks like everybody that's posting on the right side, like I would say 75 to 80% are saying past referrals, friends. So it's obvious what we're talking about here is the truth. Right. Past referrals and people that we already know, like, and trust.
Now what I put in mine is I put Scott Husband because I'm expecting now a lead. You're interrupting.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Next time, turn your phone off. That's all I'm saying. All right. So,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right. So he goes on to say, moving along, 'cause I got a lot to cover. I talk fast, guys, so I apologize, but it's the only speed I have. So, but your brains can keep up. They keep up 10 times faster than you read, so you'll be okay. The number of relationships, not the size of your budget, is going to determine your future. That's what he believes. That's what I believe. It's all about how many relationships you have, not how much money you're throwing at trying to buy leads and billboards and all that kind of stuff. All right. And the other big premise of the book is the more you give, the more you're going to get. All right, as your relationships turn into referrals. If your goal is to get 50 referrals in the next 12 months, you need to start giving to people first. You need to start connecting people in your database. You need to start to provide value to people, because find out what they need and give it to them, because if you give, you will receive in return. But if you're always just trying to take and ask without giving first, and that's the biggest place we fail, it just isn't going to work. So the biggest premise, too, is it's not about who you know. That's what everyone says. It's about who you know. It's all about who you know. It's not. It's about who you know, how well you know them, and who they know. See, if I don't have a relationship with you, Scotty, I might know you in passing. Does that do me any good?
Right.
No.
No, zero.
But if I provide you value, if I help you, if we have a relationship, if you like me and trust me, then you're going to want to help me. And it's the same thing with our database. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover a little math, which is my favorite subject. My daughter started 6th grade, which is a fun grade, and I love Common Core. I love math. It's so fun to help her with that stuff, where I have to Google how to do every stinking thing, learn it myself, and then try to teach it to her. Only to be told that's not the way the teacher taught it, but there's no explanation from the teacher ever to the parents on how they taught it. Good times. I'm not bitter at all, by the way. So,
no, not at all.
Not at all. So we're going to do a little math. So this math is where 150 ends up equaling 9,000, okay? So assume you have 150 people in your database. I think that's a pretty conservative assumption, right? Very conservative.
Yep,
Most people write 10 times that number of people. But let's say it's 150.
Yep.
Well, NAR, National Association of Realtors, not that you don't know that, estimates the average person moves once every 5 years. So that means 1/5, I'm really good at this math stuff, or 30 people are going to be moving each year. Does that make sense? And if they sell and buy, that's 60 potential transactions, right? Because if they're selling, they're going to sell a house, they're going to buy a house, 2 transactions per person, 30 people equals 60, 30 times 2. If you did 30 transactions as a realtor last year, you'd be in the top 10% of agents nationwide. Now, let's say that each person you know also knows 150 people. Well, 150 times 150, I did use a calculator for this, is 22,500 people in your community, in your sphere, based on you only having 150 people in your database. So if 22,500 people are in your database, and if only 20% of them move each year, that's 4,500 people in your community that are moving, and because each of them might have a house to buy and sell, that's potentially 9,000 transactions that are potentially out there because you know 150 people. So
it's crazy.
That's a lot of transactions. And what I hear from people is, a lot of times there's not enough people, there's not enough business. Okay, have any of you guys driven lately, right, and try to get around town? There are so many people out there, you can't even get anywhere in your car. There's people everywhere. If you want to open a business,
that's crazy, man.
Right to the left, right? Especially in Michigan right now, everything is under construction, okay? But the point is there's a ton of people, all right? Any of you guys ever stood in line? Any of you guys ever been to get your driver's license renewed? Or I took my daughter to Cedar Point, right? That was fun. You wait an hour and a half for a 4-second ride. There's a lot of people out there. There's an ocean of business out there, right? There are transactions happening every day all over town, all around you. You just need to make sure that you have a relationship with your database and are doing the right things to make sure you get your fair share. Make sense?
Yeah, and Ramsey, I think one of the things you brushed over at the beginning is you have to have a why, and I think that a lot of people are lacking that. Like a lot of people that I talk to, I should say that, they don't really have a why of why they want to do more business, so they don't have a reason to get up in the morning. They don't have a reason to knock on doors. Like there's a couple people saying, I got one from referral and one from knocking on doors. Well, shoot, if 50% of my business comes from knocking on doors, how many doors do I want to knock on today to get another deal? It's like, but then you wake up and go, what is my true why? Why do I even want to close more deals or make more money? You know what I mean? And what is the number that I really truly want to make today, and maybe by the age of 60 or 55 or 50 for you, like what, 35, Ramsey? Like when you turn 35 or something, like
I wish.
Something like that.
Add 10.
Yeah.
I look 35.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So finding your why, I think, is like really, really, really huge. So.
You're right, because if you don't have that figured out, none of this means anything, because you're not going to do it.
Well,
is the bottom.
No passion, no drive, no passion, no reason.
Right. But I'm assuming the people on this call, they had enough of a why to get on the call, right? So you need to really just dig into that, and really understand what is motivating you, and embrace that, and remind yourself of that, so you do what it takes. Because it's in there. Yep. You just have to really think about it and discover what it is for you, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. So I used to do this. This is going to be a fun exercise. It's going to be interactive. So anyone who's multitasking, you need to just pay attention here. We need you to interact with this. I used to use this with a Donald Trump seminar, but that's a little bit too much of a hot topic nowadays, right? So we did it to a Tony Robbins seminar. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask a series of questions on whether you would attend this event by Tony Robbins, and I want you guys to type it into your chat box. On whether you will attend, when I convince you to attend the event based on what we go through. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're going to ask us a series of questions, and then what you want the people on the call to answer is when, at what time, during what he says, would you attend the event?
Correct. Right. So the event is this amazing seminar. Tony Robbins coming into town. He's going to do a great seminar. He's one of the most highly respected motivational speakers out there, right? So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. And I would want to go see him speak. He was coming to my town, right? Probably I would want to go. Well, let's say you open up the paper. Does anyone read the paper anymore? Well, let's say you hop on the online newspaper and you see a huge ad for Tony Robbins. He's going to be right in your town, and you're available that day. Well, who on the call would go to the event based on just seeing an ad in the paper as you're rushing through your day?
And would anybody rush it? No, I love Tony Robbins. No, me. Okay, Olga would. Olga would be, she'd use the paper.
She loves it.
Yes, yes.
He's got great teeth,
okay, so a bunch of people would. Yeah, yeah. All right.
I think it might be the teeth that got her. Okay, so how about you get a postcard mailed to you, firstly inviting you, right? So you can get your name. They use one of those ways to get your name in there, and he sent you a postcard. So who would attend based on you got a post? You saw the ad, a week later you get a postcard.
Anybody that would got a postcard? Maybe, not in your life. Okay. If you open it, yes, maybe. Okay. So maybes.
Okay.
All right. 50-50. Maybe you would. Maybe. Nope.
Then you get an email. You get an email inviting you to the event. Now, for the third time you've heard about the event. You get a personal email, an email saying, hey, please come to the event. It's going to be incredible. It has all the information. Who's going to go based on an email?
Okay, so it's still 50-50. Maybe and no, yes, probably yes, unsubscribe. We got some angry people here for Tony Robbins.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, imagine someone, if you don't like Tony Robbins, imagine someone you like, all right? I can put Trump back on here. All right. So,
all right.
Next thing you know, you open the mail, you have an invitation, and it's handwritten in pen. Not a send-out cards. It's a real handwritten invitation. And it's signed Tony Robbins, and it's asking you to go.
So a handwritten invitation to the specific person that's on this thing. It was handwritten to you, and it showed up at your house.
It's got a real stamp. It's got a handwritten address on there. It looks real personal. I mean, it looks like he's
most likely, I like follow-up. Yes, I would go. I think it's more 75-25. I'd say 80-20. 80 people said yes.
Some people are just real tough. All right, let's see. So
they're real tough.
Said, the phone rings, and on the other phone it says, hey, Scotty, this is Tony Robbins. I just want to let you know I'm going to be in town. I heard about you. I heard you doing some amazing things in your business, and I'm just super excited about the fact I'm right in your town. I would love it if you could come to the event. So, hey, can you make it? Can you be there next Friday? In fact, I have a seat
Okay, what?
for you in the first row, if you can make it.
Okay, we are at 100% now.
100%?
We are at 100%.
Wow.
100%. Everybody says yes. If I got a call, I'd be there.
Now, I'm assuming that someone out there just isn't responding at all, and they're still saying, hey,
right.
no, I'm not going, right? Well, if that's the case,
right.
Imagine there's
someone,
the receptionist says there's someone at the front to see you at your office. And there's a limo out front. It's Tony freaking Robbins.
Holy crap.
He says, hey, I have an event tomorrow. I'm in town early, a day early. And I thought about you. You never responded to any of my requests. And I really want to see you there, man. I count on you to be there. And he reaches his hand out to you to shake his hand. His teeth are glowing. Tony Robbins in the flesh. I think you're probably going to go to the event, right?
Suzanne said she'd call security. I love it. I love it, Suzanne. That was great. But everybody's like, all right, I'm in. Of course, yes. Okay,
so
cool. Yep, everybody's in.
Right. All right, everyone's in. So what's the point, right?
The point
is,
what's the point?
No, very few of you responded to a billboard. In other words, the postcards, the ad in the paper, the advertisements, right? That didn't get most of us.
Yes.
Well, guess what got us? The handwritten note, the personal phone call, the one-on-one personal interaction. See, if you wouldn't respond to those ads and emails, why do you think your database is going to respond? They won't. So the most influential way to get people to respond is handwritten notes, phone calls, and one-on-one interaction. And that's what we're really going to delve into next, because that's the whole premise of Michael Maher's book. Make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, I'm sick of looking at Tony Robbins. Let's move on. All right. So it's all about this communication pyramid. That's what he teaches. Now, this is not like a multi-level pyramid. I'm not trying to sign you guys up for anything or to sell vitamins or drinks. Okay, so calm down.
I think we just lost half the crowd. We just lost half the crowd.
Not
okay,
that kind of person. Okay.
All right.
So the way this works is he breaks it down into different zones: the informational zone and the influential zones. The lower three levels, right, are the informational zones. That's advertising, direct mail, email.
Did we lose you? Can you guys hear me still? I think we lost. Can you guys hear me, or is it just? Okay, we can hear. Okay, all right. We lost him. All right, 1 second. Ramsey. One second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, you guys can hear me. All right, we'll get it back here. 1 sec. 1 second. Let me just do this. I'm going to take the screen so we can know that we lost him. 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry about this. There we go. Ramsey there, buddy. Oops, looks like he's call back in. All right, hopefully he'll be right back. You should be able to see my screen. Should be able to see my screen now, so I apologize, guys. 1 second. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Ramsey, you there, buddy? Ramsey.
Hello. I'm back.
Hey, there we go. Okay, buddy. All right, I'll give you the thing back. I just wanted to make sure that you got this. All right, I'm giving you the screen back. Sorry about that. All right. It's all yours. Go ahead and click show screen, and we are back in action. Sorry about that.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I was still talking. I was connected, but whatever.
All right, so there we go.
All right, so back to the handwritten note. There's 7 steps to make a note that is going to be effective. And what I was asking you, Scotty, I don't know if I got cut off first, but if you were sending a note or a card to your mom or your wife, would you have like your logo and your slogan on there, right? And tell her, hey,
no.
P.S., you love referrals? Would you put that on there?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if not, and you're trying to build a relationship with people and give and interact and influence them, don't be so salesy. Don't send them a card that's got your stuff all over it. It's a personal note, not a business note. That's key. I mean, It's got to be personal, like to connect with them, all right? Use blue ink. Why? Because he says so, all right? I don't know. It looks original. It looks more like it's handwritten. It's black. That's why, all right? He knows what he's doing. Don't use words like I, me, and my. Don't make the note about you. Make it about them, okay? So if you're looking at that note and it's like, I am great. I love to do this. I'm so happy about that. My wife did this. Rip that note up. Start all over again. It needs to be about them, not you. Be specific in your praise. You want to try to identify something in their life or something about them to mention or to compliment them on. A great way to do this is to be connected to all of your friends and clients on Facebook. You can hop on Facebook in 1 second, see what's going on in their life, and then incorporate that into the note. Now, I know you might think, oh, they'll think you're stalking me. They're not going to think that if you're a Facebook page and you're building a relationship with your database. They're going to think, wow, that's so cool. He cares. He knows about my life. He cares, and it's not just some note he's writing to everybody in his database. All right? And I know, Scotty, you believe in that big time as far as Facebook is a great way to connect with people and to learn about their lives.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then also,
no question. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. With social media nowadays, it's amazing the opportunity we have to connect, engage, and interact with people on a personal level through social media, because everybody lives their life through social media. So it's just crazy that we stop being salesy, stop being business, like talking business all the time, and just be a friend. It's amazing how people love to connect through that.
Yep, and here's the thing. The proof that people love that is the fact that they're putting all that stuff on Facebook. They want people to like what they're doing, to see what they're doing, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't put it on there, right? They want a response. You're giving them what they want, right?
Yep.
So, and even just liking things on their Facebook page is a great idea, stuff like that. They care. People love it. It's human nature. All right.
Right on.
Write rightly. This is just what he says to do, so just do it. He says, right when it goes left, slightly upward, left to right. There's a book on this. I mean, honestly, I can't get to a book on handwriting. If you can, God bless you. Go read the book. So I haven't read it, but I would just use that simple suggestion and move on. All right. The power of the PS. Now, I've always kind of known this, but if you have any kind of call to action or anything you want them left with in their mind, always put it in a PS, okay? If you want them to email or call you back or something, put it in a PS, because that's where it really gets the most attention, and people respond to PSs more than the body of a message, okay? So here's what you need to do, really. You want to try to write these notes to everybody you know. Who do you write to? Pick up a business card. Look in your email. Look at your database. Find a person, identify something about them to acknowledge, and write the note. And what he suggests is writing at least 50 of these, right, in the first week, and watch how your phone will ring. We're always like, my phone's not ringing, no one's calling me. Well, if you do something like this and start to acknowledge people with handwritten notes, you'd be blown away on the response. And let me ask you this, Scotty. How many handwritten notes, of course, except for me, have you received in the last 6 months, would you say? Handwritten note, not a send-out cards note.
3.
Okay. And I bet you that's high. I bet most people on the call, it's probably 0, right?
Yeah.
And because it so happens so infrequently, that's why it's so powerful. All right?
Yes.
So you definitely want to start doing this. It is so powerful, guys. Make it a habit where you're, maybe you could do 50 is just a one-time deal. Maybe you're writing 1 a day, 2 a day. Every day that you send a note out to start impacting someone's life, and that compounds over time, and your database is going to start to connect with you in a way that you never thought it could, and you will start to get results. If you do it. If you don't do it, nothing's going to change. All right.
Gotcha. Yep.
And he has an example in the book, even where you could even do this on people you don't know yet, right? That's how powerful handwritten notes are. There was an agent who sent 350 handwritten notes to an apartment complex, right, where he kind of thought rents were going up. And out of those 350 notes, inviting people to a home buyer seminar had 77 responses. That agent was busy for 6 months working with these buyers off of one campaign based on handwritten notes. And that's based on people who that agent did not even know. So imagine the power of handwritten notes when it's your database and they already know you. And I'm telling you guys, you might think this doesn't work, or this works, and I'll tell you, no one does it. No one does it.
And here's the crazy thing. Ramsey, is you can hire someone to do this for you, literally.
Especially if you're writing this bad time.
5 a day, 10 a day, 20 a day, whatever, however big your database is, you could do one a month and have somebody do the whole thing. I mean, it's crazy, and make it personal and have them come up with it. I mean, who's going to know who wrote it, right?
Nobody. The key is that it's personal, it's handwritten, and it follows those criteria. And they're not going to know if it's you or them, Now, if you've already sent a note and your writing as bad as mine is, you better find someone who has bad writing too, because they're going to know. But, other than that, it's a great idea. Delegate wherever you can. There's only so many hours in the day, but it's real powerful.
Right.
All right, moving on. Let's go on to phone calls. So I really couldn't find a more modern picture of a phone than that. I'm sorry.
I love it.
That's what all the phones that everyone's on right now look like, right? That we're on the call. Yep. Okay.
That's
my daughter can't believe that we used to have phones like this, where you had to rotate the dial. She was laughing. She's like, "It's not even possible that's a phone." Anyways, so call reluctance is a big thing. All right. And I had a big problem with this. I struggle with not wanting to call people and make calls, okay? But the way he thinks about it is, if you are not wanting to call, and if the true motivation of your call is to help people and to be a giver, right, then you're kind of being selfish, because you're not helping anyone if you're not on the phone. Does that make sense? So
absolutely.
Think about
Absolutely.
They're helping them. It's much easier to pick up the phone than if you're calling just to say, "Hey, you have any referrals? Hey, do you know anyone buying or selling in the next 3 months?" Right? And all that stuff.
Yep.
As opposed to,
Yep.
"Hey, how's it going? Hey, I saw on Facebook your daughter's in soccer, won that award. That's amazing. Hey, what's going on in your life? What can I do for you? Is there anything I can help you? Do you need any contractors? Anyone I can help you with? And that's why you're calling. Much easier to call. Okay, if you do that.
Yeah.
He teaches. Yep. And he teaches something called first and 10 calls. What he says is, every day when first you get in the office, you should have 10 calls lined up, right, each day. So that the first thing you do is get calls out of the way, and you actually are making calls. Because if you get into your day and you get sidetracked, guess what will happen? The calls won't happen. And that's the biggest problem.
Does anybody on this call have on their calendar 10 calls a day to somebody, past database, current clients, past clients, something of that? All right, so there's a bunch of no's. Okay. Yeah. So that in itself right there would so Yolanda does. Congratulations on that, my friend. I'm sure that you do very well. So just connecting, engaging, interacting with people. So I think that, a lot of us are reactive. We don't proactively make and consistently make phone calls. So this is a huge deal. Huge deal.
Huge deal. Just the handwritten notes can have a huge impact on your business. Just these phone calls can have a huge impact on your business. The key is take action. And to take some of these things and start to get them in practice, not tomorrow, not next week, not think about doing them, just to start doing them, okay? So why are you calling? And I can come over this real quick. But you're calling with a heart to help. What do they need, right? What can you give them? And Scotty, I believe we're going to be able to share this whole presentation with people, right, if they want it?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it'll be posted with the recording. Yes, absolutely.
Good. Because I fly through some of the stuff. I'm not going to read it line by line, but it's here for you to access. And then, of course, there's the book. Right? And that's what I really suggest that you get and read as well. All right.
Yep.
Hour of power. He also suggests at least 4 hours per week for focused phone calls to people in your database. Now, here's the thing. These calls are not calls to return people's calls, right? These are not calls because you have a reason to call them. It's just calling your database and calling to see how you can help them. And if you do that consistently, your business will never be the same. Amen? All right.
Amen to that, bro.
All right. And the other thing is he suggests ranking your calls. Here's the thing. If you're not that great at phone calls, your first few phone calls are going to not be good. They're going to be pretty bad probably, right? Now, you want to start ranking those 0 to 10. A 0 is when they hang up in your face and call you a bad word, right? That's a 0, okay?
Right.
And here's the thing. If you get a 0, you're not going to die, right? No
Right.
one's going to kill you.
Right.
You can go about with your
Exactly.
life. Things are not going to, you're not going to get some disease or be maimed, right? You'll be okay. If you get a 10 is like you call, and it's like your best friend you were talking to, and you have a great time on the phone. So you want to get to the point where you're doing 8, 9, 10 phone calls, not 0 through 3 phone calls. But to do something well, guess what? You have to practice. You have to do it more often. Then you'll get better at it by doing it. All right.
No question.
All right. The next
Hey, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing on the phone calls? So on the phone calls, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's called Phone Burner. So on Phone Burner allows you to, because you're gonna get voicemails, no questions. It's just how we are. So if you make 10 phone calls a day, 20 phone calls a day, if I would personally do it for an hour straight. And with Phone Burner, phoneburner.com, if you use phoneburnerfreedom.com, I'm not trying to say anything. I have no affiliation, but it lets you record one message. And it's a perky, upbeat, really cool message. So when you load your database into Phone Burner, push that go button, and it dials the first number, and you get a voicemail. You push a button, and it leaves that voicemail as if it was you. So you can get through instead of hang up, dial, hang up, dial, hang up, dial. It automatically, when you push that button, starts dialing the next number, and you can rock through these numbers because your goal is to get to everybody. Now, be careful how many people you actually call because people will call you back. And you'll start to engage and have conversations. So block out time on your calendar knowing that that's going to happen. And don't avoid the phone call if it rings. Make sure you answer it. So just an FYI on that. Really cool system called Phone Burner. Yeah.
And, of course, you hope they answer, so you just get that conversation and connection going.
Absolutely.
But if they don't,
absolutely,
at least by leaving them a message, it's not a wasted phone call, right? At least you're touching your database in some way. All right.
Correct.
And you can get back to the people who are going to answer much quicker that way. All right. So events and meetings. She also talked about that, like networking events, going to a meeting with people, attending a seminar, that kind of stuff. Now, here's the thing. I've been to a bunch of networking events, and I have to be honest, in the past, I hate them. People think I'm really outgoing. I am not that outgoing, I guess, because when I get to these networking events, I feel awkward. I feel like I don't know who to talk to. Maybe you get some of you guys feel that way. Some people are already in the conversation. You can feel like, do I go interrupt that conversation? I don't want to do that. So instead, I'll just go look for the snacks. That's what I would do at networking events. I go look for snacks, right? Where's the food? That was my objective, was to eat. Well, that's not going to do any good for my waistline or my business. So the key to making a networking event actually work for you is to have an actual plan. And this is what he suggests. Right? First of all, part of that's cut off, I apologize, but check out the website to find out who's in charge of the event and actually call that person. First of all, they'll be shocked because no one calls them, right? And say, hey, by the way, I'm planning on attending the event. Could you let me know maybe 3 or 4 people that might be good people for me to meet while I'm there who are really influential or that kind of and would you mind introducing me to those people when I show up? They're going to tell you. They're going to say, sure. You want to meet Bobby or Betsy or Scotty, they're great. All right, great. So you want to do that ahead of time. Then when she tells you those people, see if you can Google them or look them up on Facebook so you learn something about those people before you go to the event. So now you're going to the event with a plan, right? You're not just going to look for snacks.
Yep.
At the event, that same spirit of helpfulness, right? People can smell a taker a mile away. They know if you're there to take. Get there early. Wear your name badge on the right side. I don't know why, because he says so. All right. But the key is when you get there, find that organizer who you called, remind them what they promised you, right? And politely make sure they introduce you to those people. And when they do, now you know something about the people because you research them in advance. And when you talk to people at these events, a helpful thing is to use FROG. I'm not saying bring a pet frog. It's an acronym to help you focus on the other person and what kind of questions to ask. Stands for ask them about their family, their recreation, their occupation, and their goals. right? Another way of saying it is, hey, what are you known for? As opposed to what do you do? But the key is, so it's a nice thing to remember in your head when you might be nervous, as far as so that you can have something to say and talk to them about. And you also want to have some kind of elevator speech for when they do ask you what you do, you want to be able to know something to say, right? As opposed to say, I sell real estate, right? Or I do mortgages, you know? A cool way to say I do mortgages, I heard the other day was, I get people into debt and make them smile at the same time, right?
There you go. Love it.
You know, just make them something different to make them think and like laugh a little bit, right? But have a plan if you want to maximize these events. But they're a great way to connect with people, and it's always a good idea to even bring someone you know to these events with you, because then you really bond also by doing that. All right.
Very cool.
And of course, you want to send notes to everyone you meet, right? Handwritten notes, of course. All right. One-on-one meetings. So this is really the biggest thing you can do to impact your business and your database, is to actually physically meet with your database. And he talks about this being the most important hours of your week that you need to prepare for them. But here's one thing that I don't want you to miss in that. For you to need to prepare for something, you better have this in your week. And I would venture to guess, if you're like I was most of my career, I would have very, very few one-on-one meetings each week, right? I'd be in my office most of the week, and might have no one-on-one meetings for an entire week or a month for that matter. And that's where we're really missing the ball, because that's where you can really, really influence people. Whenever you have a one-on-one meeting, again, always research people beforehand. We talked about that already. Once you're there, remember Frog. Talk to them about them, not about you. Ask them, what are their biggest challenges, right? You're there to help. You're there to build a relationship. What do they need? What's going on in their life? And if they're a fast talker like me, right, then you can talk fast. But if I'm talking to someone really slow and deliberate, I would freak them out with how fast I'm talking. Right? They would not be comfortable. So I'm not an idiot. I would know that, or I should know that, and I would slow down. I actually am capable of speaking slower, believe it or not. But it's not my natural pace of conversation, but it's not about me, is it? It's about them. I'm going to match them.
It's about them. Yep.
There you go. And then every time you end one of these one-on-one meetings, you want to end with one or both of these questions. How can I help you, and what can I do for you? So your action item is you want to leave there almost with homework or an assignment of something that they need that you can do for them or get for them, or some resource or some referral or some help with something. That's what your objective is of the meeting, right? Whether this is a referral partner, someone in your database, whoever it is. And always, you send them a power note, which is one of those handwritten thank you notes to follow up. A nice thing to do if you really want to take it to another level is take a gift to the meeting. Maybe it's a relevant book or a download version if that's cheaper, right? Like I told you, Scotty met with me, right? And he handed me this book. And it really impacted my life and my business. And it made me want to reciprocate because he gave me a gift, something of value. All right? And he teaches a whole concept about this called create a networking stack. And basically, as you pick a restaurant, hopefully something close to your office, preferably not fast food, and you kind of become a regular restaurant. Tip well, right? Get to know the staff. Treat them like VIPs. Ask the staff about the kids' jobs, their hobby. Use Frog on them, right? You want it to almost be like Cheers, the bar, the show, where everybody knows your name.
Great idea. Yep.
All right? Then you want to start stacking appointments at that restaurant. You want to have a networking lunch, and then another meeting, and have maybe 5, 6 meetings set up at the same restaurant back to back. So, and strategically, even if you want 2 people to meet, have one back to back so you see each other coming and going. You get introduced and start connecting your database to each other. And I'm telling you, if you do this, and most people won't, but if you do, it will transform your business. And this is one of the reasons Michael Maher is one of the most preferred real estate agents in the country, because he does this stuff. He's teaching you a book about what he does, not about fiction. It works if you work it, and it can be very, very powerful. All right. So I highly recommend that, and especially if there's a nice restaurant close to your office, that's huge. Some of you have offices where you could walk to a restaurant, even, right? Or it's in, right outside your building, and that's just a great, great benefit to utilize instead of having people meet in an office, which seems salesy It's not as comfortable. And I'm not talking about buying everybody lunch either, right? You might set up one lunch appointment, but, you know, you're not in here to spend, you know, $200 buying to a lunch. You invite them for a cup of coffee, right, or a beverage. You know, people aren't eating all day long, right? There's lunchtime and there's, hey, why don't you meet me for a coffee, that kind of thing. All right. Here's the key to all of this, though, and it's the F-bomb, all right? We all know what the F-bomb is, right? It's follow-up. That's what it is, guys. Come on, where are your minds? Follow-up. None of this matters if you don't follow up. If you meet with someone, never do what you're going to say, never help them with what they needed, never follow up, never call them, never send them a note, you wasted your time, right? And in fact, every time you get a client, a real estate client, a loan client, if you don't have a follow-up system in place to make sure you're top of mind with them, guess what? To me, the client's almost a waste. Because I think of every client as a revenue stream, right? And if you're only doing one transaction from them and you never follow up, you just cut your income down by a third or a fourth or in half. Does that make sense? You got to follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And he teaches basically what you want to do is have an actual system in place where you have one-on-one meetings, power notes, direct mail pieces. So you know, hey, I met with someone, they get a note that next day or that same day, right? Then they get an email 2 days later. Then they get a phone call 3 days after that or a week after that or whatever it is, right? You want to have follow-up touches scheduled in your contact manager, right? So that you could ideally delegate some of it too, so that these actual meetings and phone calls actually end up having results because you have a system in place. In fact, if you don't have a system in place, don't even bother meeting with people because you're wasting your time. Get the system in place first and then start meeting with people. He talks about success stories, which are case studies. We'll talk about that in a minute, actually, so we'll skip that for now.
Okay.
Guys, jump in if you want to share anything too on that as well, you know, anytime.
No, I can't stress enough how important the follow-up is. Like, and most people don't have a system, so it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be an Excel spreadsheet with one of the cells that says I followed up with them the last date I contacted them, how I contacted them by phone, by Facebook, by email, by text. It doesn't have to be complicated. So just put something in place, and if all you have right now is an Excel spreadsheet, I think we spend a lot of our time trying to find a CRM system that does all this automated follow-up. Again, what Ramsey's saying is it's got to be more personal at first till you build the trust, and I think it always should be more on a personal level. And I think just a Facebook message saying, hey, I'm going heading downtown this weekend to Art Fair. Hey, hope to see you down there. Just little bitty stuff, personal stuff like this on a different level so you can keep track of it of when you contacted and if somebody's helping you with that to keep you on pace, that's even better. But I think just something simple like an Excel spreadsheet would be great.
I agree. All right, thanks, guys. Mm-hmm. So another cool tool, now I'm going to share sort of some quick tools and helpful ideas. Google Alerts, if you're not using it, you should start using it. You can set up a Google Alert, right? It's a product from Google, it's free, where they'll notify you if a certain word or phrase shows up on the internet, right? So for your top clients and referral sources and referral partners, you want to do a couple things. Number one, you want to set a Google alert for their name. Now, this is more effective if your name is Ramsey Faraz than if it's Bob Jones, of course, right? Because there might be 100 Bob Joneses. But you get the point that if one of your referral sources or top clients is in the news or is mentioned on the internet, you want to know about it so you can congratulate them, you can mention it, you can bring it up. People, again, they want to be acknowledged. So it's a great free way to basically, and above and beyond the Facebook thing, to get to know your clients. You also, if you know they're an avid golfer, they have a great passion for something, set a Google alert for that, and then you could email them a relevant article or some interesting topic that's about their hobby, right? So when you met with them, they said they loved golf, and then you saw some great story about golf, and you sent it to them, that's an amazing way to connect with somebody, right? Or you send them a gift or a coupon to something that they like because you're aware of it. Google Alerts is a great way to do that, all right? And I use it all the time.
And what it does is it automatically puts it in your inbox. That's the best part about Google Alerts. Once you sign up for something, you can sign up for whatever you want for alerts. Or in whatever you sign up for, like when you go to Google Alerts, it's going to give you a bunch of choices, or you can search for whatever you want, but it puts it in your inbox whenever it sees what you're looking for. You don't have to go out and look for it. It automatically just shows up.
Exactly. Good point. Sorry I mentioned that. You get an email that says, hey,
Yep.
Guy
Get an
Hudson
email.
is in the news, and here's a link to where he is.
Yep.
And you can go check it out.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Crazy technology.
Yep.
We need to start using this technology that's all around us to our advantage, right? Google makes money off of us, all this advertising, right? Let's make money off of them. All right. He also talks about something called the Blessing Book. This is a really cool concept. And he basically says to create a book. Now, you can go buy his book, right, with his fancy little emblem on the top front at his website, or any notebook will suffice. And what he says is, every morning, write down 5 things you're grateful for. Start to have more of a sense of gratitude, right? This stuff will help you in your mind, and it'll help you in your day in ways that, again, most people won't do it, but if you do it, it will change your life. Each morning, write down some positive affirmations, all right? And there's one he really suggests that you use every single day. He calls it the Rainmaker's Affirmation. And here it is. Let's all say it together wherever you're at. Each and every, got it. Each and every day.
Each and every day, someone somewhere,
my city needs my services.
Needs my services. My job today is to find that person.
You say that every day, and you're going to start to attract these people, guys. The mind is a crazy thing. The outlook is a crazy thing. It works if you do it, right? And you want to internalize that, okay, so that you will start thinking like a top producer, and you will start to attract more and more business. I also he suggests carrying a gratitude rock. I have this little rock, and every time I kind of see it in my pocket, I even gave one to my daughter. It reminds me to just pick that rock up and just say something I'm grateful for. We're always so worried about what we don't have, what everyone else has, right? But most of us are extremely blessed. Take a minute to be happy about what you have, and your day will just be better, and you'll be a happier person. He also suggests the biggest problem people have is they don't take action, right? He even sells these little bracelets that say, do it now, like those little rubberized bracelets, right? And says you should tell yourself like 49 times a day, 3 times every day, do it now, do it now, do it now. Keep repeating that. Don't walk around outside screaming that, okay? You probably get arrested nowadays. People think you might have a bomb or something. To yourself, right? Do it now, do it now, do it now, all right? But be careful.
Oh, man, you're funny.
Ramsey, right? I mean, I might get tested for terrorist, right? I might get profiled.
Right.
So what you want to really start to infuse in your brain, do it now, 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 because we procrastinate so easily. You need to reprogram your brain, all right, to start to take action. It will change your life. Again, another little thing, because I know most are not going to implement everything in this presentation tomorrow. Pick the top thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. Keep adding these things to your business, right, one at a time, so you actually do it. Speaking of time, none of it will happen if you don't have the time to do it, right? So first of all, you really need to start your day by envisioning what that day is going to look like. Break it down. Take a moment to think about what's going to happen in your day versus just haphazardly running around like a chicken with your head cut off, all right? And you have to also remember, you want 80% of your time to be in that influential zone. What is the influential zone? On the phone or in front of people. If you're not talking to people one-on-one or on the phone, then you're out of business. That is your business. All that other stuff we do, most of it should be delegated. We shouldn't be doing anyways as salespeople. And if we're honest with how much of our time every day is on the phone with people or in front of people, it's probably way lower than 80%. All right? And the key is to time block that time. Set that time, that hour of power, that hour of calls in the middle of the day. Set that time. Schedule your meetings, right? It's important and it works to time block if you do it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Make sense?
Makes sense, man.
And again, we went over that stuff. You can read the more details on your own as far as the first and 10 calls, and the book has a great plan on all that stuff as well. All right, we're getting low on time, so I'm going to fly through the rest of the stuff. Right, I got about, 5-6 minutes, guys?
You got 6 minutes, yes, sir.
All right. You also talked about the 4 rituals. These are really key and have helped me a ton in my business. Number 1, and it helps you to get from getting out of control. Morning ritual, the affirmations we talked about in your blessing book. Preparing for the day, maybe some exercise. If you're doing exercise, by the way, I recommend something I call learn and burn. All right? And what that is have some kind of positive learning material on your iPhone, MP3, on a tape, whatever you use. Don't use tape anymore, but you get it. And listen to that stuff while you're working out. Learn and burn. Multitask. Use it to stimulate your mind and body. Pre-leave ritual. Before you leave for the day, get your desk in order. Don't have stuff everywhere thrown around so you get there the next morning, it's a mess. Write down your first and 10 calls for the next day. Check your time blocking and your plan for the next day. That's your pre-live ritual. Pre-sleep ritual. You believe you should read a little bit, visualize, pray, stretch. Don't just hop into bed and you're thinking about all this stuff and you can't sleep because you're thinking about all these problems in your day, right? Sunday night ritual, he looks at his entire week schedule, make sure his appointments are in order, even has his clothes planned out. He's not wasting time with that. These 4 rituals will help you guys get your day going. Successful success stories. This is basically documenting your client's success stories into case studies. And then these are great things. And again, you can read this on your own, but it's basically a testimonial on steroids, right? And it's basically stuff you can then share in those emails to clients, or share as marketing material, or share stories of Josh and Jill and what happened to them and how it helped them. And other people can relate to that. And oh my gosh, my sister's in that same situation. And they'll also then call you. But you want to document your success stories. All right? And then finally, as we start to wrap up, he talks about really becoming a communicator instead of just a marketer. All right? And what does that mean? Well, people aren't going to say yes or buy from you until they like and trust you. And they're not going to refer you either until that happens. Right? So you need to first look at your database and grade it so you focus your time. There's so many hours in a day, right? Well, A+ people you want to grade are people who already refer you multiple times a year. These are like the most important people in your lives except for your family, right? You need to identify who these people are who are already referring you business. A's are people who refer you at least once a year, still very important people. B's are people, you don't know exactly what they are. They're sort of neutral. C's are just family and friends, don't do business with them typically. And D's have never sent you business. They probably are never going to send you business, and you should just delete them from your database because they're wasting your time to focus on them, okay? So, and if you want to help expanding your database, there's a link here. You can check that out on your own time and to jog your memory about who really should be in your database. So he then suggests once you have these things categorized, you develop a communication plan to stay in touch with them and to build those relationships in your database, right? The ambassadors, those are the ones that refer you multiple times, they should be getting called at least once a month. They should have a one-on-one meeting at least once every 3 months in your networking stack meetings, right? You want to be touching these people a lot. The champions, at least 4 times a year, if not more, because they've referred you business. The B people, where you're not really sure what they are, and I don't have time to go into this, but he has an email that he says you send them that will guarantee they respond to you either way, and a script that you go through with them once they call you. And the whole point of that premise is you'll find out if that B person should be an A, right, because they're going to start referring your business, or if they should be a D and you should just delete them and stop wasting your time. And again, all that information is in the book. I really want you guys to take action to read the book, so I don't want to share all these scripts because you need to read the book. It will change your life, all right? I'm introducing you to the concept. All right. Finally, relationship to referral. How do you get the referral? This is great, right? You may say, Ramsey, I love this. We're all holding hands. I'm giving. I'm calling. I'm sending notes. It's all about them. Well, when's it about me? What about me? Well, here's where it's about you. Once you've established trust with your database, once you can pick that phone up, and it's like an 8. If I call Scotty, right, it's like we're friends. It's an 8, 9, a 10, right? That's the day I'm having. But, right, it's easy to make that call. Once you're at that point, then it's time to have a referral conversation with these people. And the power of words is you never, ever say referral. People hate giving referrals. They're afraid of the word referral. Say introduce me, right? People won't refer you, but they'll introduce you left and right. It's all about the words, okay? So that's important. And what he suggests is a simple script, and there's 10 other scripts in the book, but it just, you can say something like, hey, it's been great working with you. It's been awesome. By the way, I know you were renting and it's your first home. Who do you know who's also in that same situation who's renting right now, who might be looking for their first home, right? You link it to something that's similar to them in their life because people and it's that, I forget the word, reticular activator, I think that's what's called.
Yep,
People notice things
about
the same situation they're in, right? Just like if I'm looking to buy a car, I notice that car all over the road. Well, if I'm looking to buy a house, I notice other people are buying homes. So you want to ask people those kind of scripts. He has the scripts in there, but the key is if you don't have a relationship with them, they could care less when you ask them for the referral. But if you have the relationship and you've been a giver, they're going to want to refer you. They're going to want to refer you. All right? And a great thing to practice, a great practice, and there's nothing to do with cereal, by the way, is every time you get a referral, you want to do a great retracing, call everybody in that strand of referrals. What do I mean by that? Let's say Joe refers me Jeff, and Jeff, in turn, refers me to Cindy. And Cindy then recommends me to Janet. This stuff happens, guys, if you track it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, track it for sure.
I'm going to call Cindy and say, hey, thanks so much for referring Janet. It's going awesome. You're the best. Thanks so much. That's where most of us stop, right? We thank the referrer who referred it, right? Or who did stuff. No, you then hang up with Cindy and you call Jeff and say, Jeff, man, thanks so much for introducing me to Cindy. That was awesome. I know I thanked you when you did it, but guess what? Cindy referred me to Janet now. And it's all because of you, Jeff. Thanks, man. And then I'm going to hang up. I'm going to call Joe and do the same exact thing, right? You do this on all your referrals, your business will never be the same. People love to be acknowledged. You will get more and more referrals if you acknowledge those referrals all the way down the line.
You'll go to 100% referral. That is that's huge right there, buddy.
It's huge. I'm going to skip this one, guys. It's about a lot of you know about the DISC. He teaches the DISC system. Okay, so you definitely want to look at that. And the biggest thing I'll end on with that one though is the golden rule. People think the golden rule is to treat others as you would want to be treated. That's not the golden rule. Well, that is the golden rule, but forget the golden rule. The platinum rule is treat others the way they want to be treated, even if not what you would want yourself. You want to sell the way the buyer buys, not how you buy. Does that make sense? So,
yeah, absolutely, dude. That was huge.
It's huge. Don't focus on what you want. Focus on what they want. If they want a bunch of facts and you don't care about facts, you give them facts. If they want nothing to do with facts and they want to talk about all this lovey-dovey, fuzzy, warm feeling stuff and you're not like that, then you talk to them like that. Because it's not about you, it's about them.
Interesting. Great way to put that on.
Last slide. I want to leave you guys with this. These are the 3 most referral-generating questions you can ask your database. Once you build a relationship, right? Hey, what's their biggest challenge right now? Do not guess how you can help the person. Do not assume. Ask them, what's going on in life? What can I help you with? And if they tell you there's a problem or challenge, ask them, what have they tried so far? Don't just immediately, as guides, that's when to give solution. No, shut up, ask questions, right? So what have you tried so far? And then what are you going to do next? You want to ask them. What you'll find is you do these 3 questions, right, and read the book, and I'll delve into this more. A lot of times people solve their own problems just because you listen and ask the right question, right? And now, suddenly, oh my gosh, Scotty is the best, man. I saw him, I had this problem, he solved for me, he's amazing, he's my hero, man. And now they want to reciprocate. Meanwhile, Scotty might not have done a darn thing. He didn't give them any solution. He just asked them a few questions and listened and shut up. And it's amazing what can do as you're having these conversations with people. Ask these questions. Don't just jump all over it. Guide them. They will solve it themselves, and you'll be a hero, and they're going to want to reciprocate and refer you to people, because that's really the 7 levels of communication is the law of reciprocity. If you give, you will get so much more in return, but if you're truly all about giving and not all about take, it will change your business, change your life. Take action, guys. Do these things. Meet one-on-one. Make the calls. Do the handwritten notes. And I challenge you to do that, and 12 months from now, see where your business is. Thanks so much, Scotty. I hope that helps people.
Oh, Ramsey, you're off the charts, man. It's I'm kind of glad to be on this call because it's just a huge refresher of how good the book was. And it's called 7 Levels of Communication, and we just kind of peeled the curtain back on what was inside the book, the basics, a couple of the bullet points. Like Ramsey said several times, he highly recommends to grab the book and read it. It's a great read. I need to probably go read it again. But you hit on so many huge key points here, and it's nothing. Everything you covered, nothing is cost money. It's just doing the right things with people that we know, like, and trust. and just listening to them and asking them what their biggest challenge is, and then taking action and helping them to solve that. So so many great things, man. And then the pyramid of the communication part of it thing is huge. I think we spend too much time on the lower half of the pyramid where we should be spending time on the upper half. And it's so easy to do. We just got to do it. So like you said, take action. Appreciate you, brother, and look forward to the future with you, man. Yes, sir. So you guys, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate your time. As always, we'll see you same time, same place right here on Agent Mastermind. If you missed it, I did post a link to our private Facebook group. It's agents only at facebook.com/groups/Agent Mastermind. And again, the phone burner freedom is a great system to up the amount of people that you can call, that you will leave messages to. So we'll see you same time, same place right here on Agent Mastermind. Everybody have a great week. See you on the web.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care, buddy.
You too.